One of my goals for the Growth Network this year was to consistently provide you with book reviews that relate to what we work on here in the Growth Network and the mindset that you need to have to be successful here. Feed your mind. There's nothing more important that you can do for your own mental health, productivity. That's why we adhere to this. In this book, or this week, we're going to talk about The One Truth by Jon Gordon. Spectacular book. One of the things he talks the most about is your state of mind dictates the quality of your life much more than your circumstances do. I think we tend to look at it maybe the other way around, and he just doesn't say that. He backs it up with a lot of quality content. I always like to highlight three things, even though that there's so much more to these books. But the first thing I want to talk about is he talks about how we are vulnerable to the 5 Ds as it relates to affecting our quality thoughts and mindset. And that is doubt, distortion of reality in our life, discouragement, distraction, and division. We certainly see how division plays a role in our society. So we're vulnerable to the 5 Ds. Let's put them out into the open. Let's acknowledge them. Let's look for ways to overcome these things. It's a theme in the book. It's a theme of the Growth Network. Number 2, talk to yourself instead of listening to the voices in your head. Another challenging thing. But one of the things, he hits 5 great themes that you ought to say to yourself every day through whether it's meditation or just some consistent reading of these over and over. And here are the 5 things. I'm here for a reason. I am loved. There is a plan for my life. I was not meant to be average. I have a desire to be great because there's greatness within me. We may or may not want to acknowledge those. Those are 5 truths. It's easy to forget them or suppress them. But second point, talking to yourself, restating things like these 5 examples are going to play a role in your state of mind, overcoming your circumstances. Last but not least, he talks a lot, and the whole theme of the book is about oneness and separateness. In the preferred situation, being oneness, where you feel powerful, you're in a high state of mind, you're confident, you feel connected, you feel loved. That's the oneness. There's a lot more words to describe it, but that's the oneness concept. Separateness, as you might imagine, it's when fear rises, you start to feel isolated, you start to feel disconnected to people and society, you want to withdraw. It's truly the inauthentic you versus the oneness being the authentic you. Again, we're vulnerable to this. What I love about the book is he puts it all out into the open, which is always a fantastic starting point. And in relation to separateness, he talks a lot about the fact that, unfortunately, mental illness, a very serious issue, is rooted in separateness, where there's isolation, fear, separation, as we had just talked about. And all of that leads to a negative mindset and what needs to be done in order to get you closer to the oneness. All this, I don't mean to make this sound simple. These are not simple topics. But again, put this out into the open. It's worth knowing about them. And he speaks about this in such a very compassionate way that you would seriously enjoy this book. Keep in mind, just to reiterate, the 3 points he's bringing up. The 5 Ds separate you from happiness. There is a way to speak to yourself daily that will help with your mindset. and always be aware of moving toward oneness and seeking out the help you need to get you closer to that so that you don't feel separate and disconnected. In closing, a couple of options for you as a call to action here in this video. Would love to have you visit growthnetwork.org. You have two things you can do there. Number one, book a discovery call with me where we can talk about these issues as well as the vision that you have for your life and activating the dreams in your heart. I also provide the option of having you go right into booking a 3-month coaching program with me where we get to do a deep dive and you get to end up with a blueprint that has you always in the mindset and the mode of pursuing your dreams. Thank you very much. May God bless you. And again, always feed your mind.